Hey Cancer, how you doing? So we're going to talk about Pluto and how it will impact the next 20 years. Pluto is a big deal. When it changes signs, as it's going to do on November 19th, 20th, kind of over that 24 hours, it's a big deal. If you think back to 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, and all the stuff that happened there in a different part of your chart, but just think of all the changes. There will be a level of change now, but in a very different part of your life. And the feeling of it will be very different from earlier. And here's why. First of all, back in 2008 and 2009, Pluto was moving into Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign, and it's the heaviest, densest of the earth signs. It has the heaviest energy. It governs things like rocks and tectonic plates. And so it's like dense and heavy, and sometimes, kind of somber feeling, or like sobering, somber kind of feeling to it. And then Aquarius, on the other hand, is an air sign, so like the opposite of Earth. And not only is it an air sign, but it's the airiest of the air signs because it governs space, zero gravity, low density. And so totally different feeling to Pluto now that it's working in Aquarius energy starting in November. So it won't feel the same at all. And it's moving into a very different part of your chart, which will govern different areas of your life than it did before. So over the last 15 years, you were working on relationships, how to be with people, how to work together, how balancing power struggles. You've been learning a lot about how to be in relationship or how not to be in relationship. So you've been learning there, and you've probably strengthened your knowledge base, and your abilities in relationships have strengthened over the last 15 years. So you're left at the end of it with stronger skills in relationship, even if you had some relationships break apart. So, but that's not where Pluto is going to be anymore. It's going to leave you alone in relationships. So that's the good news. That heaviness that you felt in relationships, the somber, sober feeling around relationships is going to completely change. It won't be there. It'll just like that energy is just going to disappear and evaporate really. And suddenly it just won't be there. So that's good news in your world of relationships. Relationships will feel lighter. It's still Capricorn governing that part of your chart, but the added weight of Pluto will not be there. The added imperative, like the mission that Pluto gives you, is gone. Pluto's like, I'm done with this mission. We're going to move on to another mission. So Pluto's going into Aquarius in an area of your chart that governs the following things: mental health, psychiatry, psychology, therapy, counseling, the inward journey, self-help, also the fields of psychiatry, psychology, counseling, self-help. Those fields are also in this area. So you may find that you go into professionally those fields. It also governs money, banking, finance, investments, real estate, like investing in real estate. So all those areas, whether it's your profession you go into or just a big focus for you. 20 years is a long time to be living, so it's kind of makes sense that any sign within 20 years might be investing in real estate or selling a property, but you are absolutely, it's guaranteed that at some point in these 20 years you'll sell and or buy property, and it would be a powerful investment if so. It's also likely you'll do some form of therapy. Even if you're studying to become a counselor or go into self-help, you'll also be receiving self-help. It's just a likelihood for a lot of cancers. So even if you've been in therapy before, you may return, but you might focus differently. Your focus might be on something different. It's also likely for some of you, and 20 years is a long span of time, that you'll inherit some money. So there could be an inheritance. Sometimes it's, right when, like right around now, like some of you may already be dealing with some kind of inheritance property or just any kind of material goods that came through an inheritance that could be manifesting now in your life, or it could just be over the next 20 years. But it's powerful when Pluto's on a threshold. So it could be now, or it could be in 20 years, there's an inheritance. It could be any time in between, but it's especially powerful in those moments when it crosses a threshold. So those are the areas of life. What I would say to you is the energy is going to be so different. It's not going to be as heavy. It has a more innovative quality. So being creative and innovative around your finances, around how you deal with intimacy and relationships, being innovative, stepping outside, breaking outside of a box or a framework, a thinking framework that you have, understanding things from a new perspective, both in money, psychology, your own mental well-being, looking at things from a new perspective. You'll get many flashes of insight, both on how to deal with all the areas I mentioned, but also with regard to yourself. You'll be learning a lot about yourself over the next 20 years. This is a good journey to have. It's a powerful journey. You're lucky because Jim and I had to do this journey with Pluto in Capricorn, much heavier. You do not have that heaviness. So it can be a more playful, experimental kind of journey for you. And you're born with a type of genius in the area of money, in the area of psychology, in the area of intimacy. You have some skills already there because Aquarius is here in your chart all the time. And Pluto's going to add some weight and focus to this. So trust your skills here. So if you feel like some of you may feel like I'm just not good at relationships, like I just don't know, the last 15 years have been draining. I'm not, I doubt myself in, can I do relationships well? Some of you may be having some self-doubt. Pluto's going to help you face those fears and to move through those fears, especially if you seek help. You don't have to get therapy, but you'll probably read some books or listen to some audiobooks or some other way of gathering information about self-exploration. It is going to benefit you greatly. So definitely don't shy away from that. If you run from it, Pluto's pretty harsh. It's like Saturn. If you run away from your fears and your problems in finances or mental well-being, Pluto's not a great presence to have there. But if you confront any financial issues or fears and confront any kind of self-development you need, you'll do much better. And Pluto actually gives you a lot of power, gives you tools, gives you support in these areas. So you definitely don't want to run away from the stuff that scares you here. You want to confront it and deal with it in a way that you grow and evolve, right? So I think this is going to be an interesting journey for you. It won't be like the past 15 years at all. And your relationship's much, much better and lighter.